Pre-session or during the show?
During the show.
Okay, just give us a quick second.
But no, I'll be...
Josh, you can put whatever.
Got a little boom in my big truck. Gonna open up the doors and turn it up. Gonna stomp my boots in the Georgia mud. Gonna watch you make me fall in love. Get up on the hood of my daddy's tractor. Up on the toolbox, it don't matter. Down on the tailgate, girl, I can't wait to watch you do your thing. Shake it for the young bucks sitting in the honky tonks. For the rednecks rocking till the break of dawn. The DJ swinging that country song. Come on, come on, come on. Shake it for the birds, shake it for the bees. Shake it for the catfish swimming down deep in the creek. For the crickets and the critters in this world. Shake it to the moon. Shake it for the girls.
come to make things right. You and I must fight for our rights. You and I must fight to survive. No one's gonna take me alive. The time has come to make things right. You and I must fight for our rights. You and I must fight to FFA, please give it up for your first state talent. What's up, California FFA? I'm Brittany Thompson, representing the Liberty Ranch FFA chapter.
And I'm Ryder Nielsen, representing the Elk Grove Pleasant Grove chapter. from hate. I run from prejudice, I run from pessimists, but I run too late.
I run my life, or is it running me? Run from my past. I run too fast, or too slow it seems. When lies become the truth, that's when I run to you. This world keeps spinning faster to a new disaster, so I run to you, I run to you, baby. When it all starts coming undone, baby, you're the only one I run to. I run to you. We run on a fuse. Your life and mine, like the sands of time, slipping right on through. And our love's the only truth. That's why I run to you. This world keeps spinning faster to a new disaster, so I run to you, I run to you, baby. When it all starts coming undone, baby, you're the only one I run to. I run to you. Whoa, whoa. Ooh, I run to you. This world keeps spinning faster to a new disaster, so I run to you, I run to you, baby. When it all starts coming undone, baby, you're the only one I run to. I run to you, I run to you, yeah. Oh, ooh, I run to you.
Whoa, whoa.
Everybody, who is excited for Dustin Lynch? Are you sure? Are you sure you're excited? Because I don't think you are that excited. Like, I know it's 8 o'clock in the morning, but hopefully your ag teacher let you drink lots of coffee today. Who is pumped for Dustin Lynch? Good, good, better. All right. In addition to our talented Dustin Lynch, who will be coming later this week, you might have thought that was all the talent the California FFA has, but it's not true. There's more. Please give it up for your next state talent.
Hello, California FFA. My name is Kira Shimozaki, and I will be representing the Liberty Ranch FFA chapter, and I will be singing Riptide. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversation. Oh, all my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistant in their dreams. Ooh, oh, hey, yeah, and they come unstuck. A lady running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I'm gonna be your left-hand man. I love you when you sing the song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. There's this movie that I think you'll like. This guy decides to quit his job and head to New York City. This cowboy's running from himself, and she's been living on the highest shelf. Taken away to the dark side. I'm gonna be your left-hand man. I love you when you sing the song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. I just wanna know if you're gonna stay. I just gotta know. I can't have it any other way. I swear she's destined for the screen. Closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you'd ever seen. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I'm gonna be your left-hand man. I love you when you sing the song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I'm gonna be your left-hand man. I love you when you sing the song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Lady, you're running down to their riptide, taken away to the dark side. I'm gonna be your left-hand man. I love you when you sing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, 8 minutes till showtime.
Waiting for
Please find your seats. This is your 5-minute warning.
Well, life on the farm are kinda laid back. Ain't much an old country boy that me can't hack. Early to rise, early in the sack. I thank God I'm a country boy. Well, a simple kind of life never did me no harm. Raising me a family and working on the farm. Days are all filled with an easy country charm. Thank God I'm a country boy. Well, I got me a fine wife, I got me old fiddle. When the sun's coming up, I got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny riddle. Thank God I'm a country boy. When the work's all done and the sun's setting low, pull out my fiddle and rosin up the bow. Kids are all asleep, so I keep the cattle low. And thank God I'm a country boy. I'd play a solid good all day if I could, but the Lord and my wife wouldn't take it very good. So I fiddle when I can, work when I should.
All South Coast Region officers, please report to your region. All South Coast Region officers, please report to your seating area.
Thank God I'm a country boy. Woo-hoo! Life of diamonds or jewels, I never was one of them money-hungry fools. Rather have my fiddle and my format tools. Thank God I'm a country boy. Yeah, city folk driving in a black limousine. A lot of sad people thinking that's a mighty keen. Son, let me tell you now exactly what I mean. Thank God I'm a country boy. Well, I got me a fire wife, I got me old fiddle. The sun's coming up, I got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny riddle. Thank God I'm a country boy. Woo-hoo! Till the day he died, took me by the hand and it close to his eyes. Said, live a good life, play my fiddle with pride. Thank God you're a country boy. Well, my daddy taught me young how to hunt and how to whittle, taught me how to work and play a tune on the fiddle, taught me how to love and how to give just a little. And thank God I'm a country boy. Well, I got me a fire wife, I got me old fiddle. When the sun's coming up, I got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny riddle. I'm a country boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your 1-minute warning.
Here at State Conference, we have such an incredible opportunity to grow as individuals so that we can reach out to better our chapters and communities. However, we need to take a step back and realize that we would not be able to be a part of this organization or live in this country if it weren't for those who have and will continue to reach out to us. There are people that give us their efforts each and every day to ensure our success and well-being. They extend their hand to help us, and they are the reason we are sitting here today. Farmers and agriculturalists have reached out to us with hard work to produce the goods we use on a regular basis. Past leaders and activists have reached out to us with vision in order to create our organization to be what it is today. Our agricultural teachers and advisors have reached out to us with service to see that we are successful. And our military personnel reach out to us with sacrifice so that we can be free and safe in our daily lives. There are countless individuals who reach out to us with hard work, vision, service, and sacrifice, all so that we can reach out to others.
When I think of hard work, I think of farmers, such as my father, Blake Alexander, a fourth-generation dairy farmer from the North Coast region. Growing up with a strong-willed father, I've seen work ethic, character development every day, from hoeing weeds to office work and negotiating contracts. The type of strong character that motivates many and yet didn't get mad when I got the swather head stuck in the ditch. My dad has shown me to attack every task with passion and to... Thank you.
Agriculture, our nation's most basic yet humbling industry. The men and women involved within this industry know the true meaning of hard work and strive every day to provide not only for their families, but for the families of this country and this world. Throughout the years, American agriculture has faced many adversities, from the Dust Bowl and Great Depression of the 1930s to the current challenge of having to feed a projected 9 billion people by the year 2050. Many of these challenges have been met with advancements in farming that have allowed the American agriculturists to provide greater yields for the world. But technology has not changed the farmer's commitment to a work ethic grounded in sacrifice, hard work, a love of the land, and a recognition of their responsibility to the stewardship of our nation's natural resources. Regardless of the challenges they face, the farmer continues to persevere and show us how rewarding this occupation truly is. American agriculturists reach out through hard work.
When I think of vision, I think of the first female state officer, my mother, Christy Mattis. At the time of when girls were first allowed into the FFA, she was just a junior attending Sierra High School in Auberry. However, it's safe to say that this late start didn't hinder her drive and passion for the FFA. She was an avid parliamentary procedure competitor, exhibited livestock at the county and state level, and even showed that hard work does pay off by being one of the first women to receive her American degree at the 1973 National FFA Convention. Since, she's served 38 years as an agriculture educator. Thank you, Mom, for being mine and thousands of other members' vision.
Our country had a new vision in the 1960s. Throughout this era, many African Americans and women were fighting for their civil rights. Martin Luther King Jr. and Alice Paul had new dreams and visions. They wanted to stop discrimination and have equal opportunity. Martin Luther King Jr. and Alice Paul led a non-violent protest to fight for our rights. This vision ultimately affected our FFA vision, It led to the new farmers of America merging in with the future farmers of America. It led to women being allowed into our organization. We are proud to have over 600,000 FFA members in our organization who have reached out to make a positive difference in our country, the United States of America. No matter your color, your race, or your culture, we are able to reach out for our dreams. Our country has reached out with vision.
When I think of the word service, I think of ag teachers like my dad, Mr. Coolwine, someone who dedicates early mornings, late nights, and long weekends to teaching his students the importance of being a servant leader. Ag teachers like my dad portray service through their knowledge and wisdom, which guides their students down the right path while instilling in them a passion for the most vital industry in the world. Over the years, I've watched my dad become a best friend, an adopted parent, and a lifetime role model and mentor, dedicating his life to this amazing organization. I stand up here today so proud to be able to call him Dad.
There are over 700 agricultural advisors here in the state of California. There are many agricultural teachers in this room, in this state, in this nation that serve every day of their life. But what does service truly mean? Simply, it means putting others before yourself. Our agricultural advisors' joys and desires take second priority in their lives. They pour every ounce of heart and effort into us, and they do it so unselfishly. Our ag teacher's success is their ultimate reward. Whether it is countless hours spent coaching a career development event team, preparing a classroom lesson, or simply helping a student with their supervised agricultural experience project for an upcoming fair, agricultural advisors truly serve. And along the way, they become family. They become our moms, our dads, our best friends, and our biggest supporters. Agricultural advisors truly reach out with service.
When I think of sacrifice, my good friend, AJ Roland, comes to mind. AJ, a former Maxwell FFA member, is compassionate, dedicated, and honorable. He is currently serving in the United States Army, and when asked about sacrifice, says, "My biggest sacrifice is spending time with family and friends. I've already missed birthdays and holidays. That's my biggest sacrifice, knowing that I'm giving up a few years of my life for others." I am thankful for individuals like AJ that are willing to make sacrifices in their own lives for all of us.
It is because of our servicemen and women that we can call ourselves Americans and live freely in the United States of America. Like AJ, men and women from across this great nation sacrifice time with loved ones, being home, and sometimes their lives to ensure that each and every day we are safe. It is because of the brave people within our military that we can sit in this arena today and do what we love in an organization that we love, unafraid, but most importantly, free. Our servicemen and women, those who have served or are currently serving, truly embody the idea of reach out. With little in return, they reach out to protect us and ensure our safety. They reach out to far-off places and uncomfortable situations, all so that we can sleep easy at night. We are the land of the free because our country is home to the brave. The men and women of the United States military reach out through sacrifice.
I pledge allegiance. These three words have been ingrained in each of us for as long as we can remember. We have said them in school growing up. We even say them at the end of every one of our meetings, including this convention. But we rarely take the time to understand what these words truly mean. Allegiance is the choice to pledge loyalty to an idea, to a principle. It's the choice to reach out for one's country. It is displayed in the hard work of farmers, the vision of activists of America's past, the service of agriculture teachers, and perhaps most clearly by the sacrifices of our servicemen and women. As individuals, as FFA members that literally have the broad stripes and bright stars proudly displayed across our jackets, we are forever connected to the idea of loyalty, to the idea of allegiance to our nation. As we move forward with this convention, each of us must discover how we will ultimately reach out to build a stronger organization and, in turn, a stronger United States of America.
Please rise for the presentation of colors performed by the Fresno State Air Force ROTC Color Guard.
So proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night
FFA makes a positive difference in the lives of students.
Through premier leadership, personal growth, and career success, there are over 76,000 FFA members in this state, and they get to experience this every single day.
This project of the California FFA Tell Your Story allows us to put the face to the over 76,000 FFA members within the California FFA Association.
So these stories showcase the three-ring model of agricultural education, with students succeeding within the classroom, with their hands-on experiences, and the leadership development events within the FFA.
The members of California FFA come from a wide range of backgrounds in over 300 communities that range from Tule Lake at our northern border all the way to Calexico at our southern border.
Throughout this entire year, our team has said that this organization is in your hands. Thanks to these students reaching out and telling their stories, we see how each and every single one of you have made an impact in this organization.
I enjoy being able to, kind of go back to my roots and be a dairyman, and since I can't do that as a school thing, I have FFA, and that kind of jumped into my life, and I was like, oh hey, this is cool, so I can do the small scale, raise 2 heifers, and then, eventually end up getting a whole herd.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
It's time to get on our feet and make some noise for your 2014-2015 California State Officer Team. Your State Sentinel, Luis Sanchez. And your State Reporter, Ellen Van Noy. Your State Treasurer, Roman Waskevich. And your State Secretary, Sierra Bryant. your State Vice President, Haley Warner. And your California State President, Deepak Kumar.
Y'all ready for this?
The conference hall will come to order. We are now holding the second general session of the 87th Annual California FFA Leadership Conference. Madam Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they are at their stations, and report back to you, Mr. President. The Sentinel.
Station by the door.
Your duties there?
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the doors open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the President in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people, in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to Puerto Rico, and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there?
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why stationed by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Madam Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is the symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is the token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll of members.
From the Central Region.
The Central Region has 118 ready to rock and roll delegates.
From the North Coast Region.
The North Coast Region is in 100% attendance with 65 ready to vote delegates.
From the San Joaquin Region.
The San Joaquin region is proud to announce at this second general session, we have 121 delegates representing 60 chapters.
From the South Coast region. The South Coast region proudly has 64 ready-to-vote delegates. From the Southern region.
The Southern region has 101 delegates present.
And from the Superior region.
The Superior region has 106 ready-to-reach-out delegates.
Mr. President, I am pleased to announce that here in the second session of the 87th Annual State FFA Leadership Conference, there are 591 delegates present, along with 5,428 members and guests present, Mr. President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA member should possess. May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this, the second general session of the 87th Annual California FFA Leadership Conference, duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. The pitch-perfect fan and House of Cards fanatic I'm about to introduce are irreplaceable in the hearts of FFA members all across our state. She brings a kindness that no one can match, and he an ability to make those around him more successful. This year, they have strived to share those strengths with you. California FFA, please join me in welcoming your chairs for this session, your State Secretary, Sierra Bryant, and your State Treasurer, Roman Waskevich.
Don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, shut up and dance with me. We were victims of the night.
Hey, Roman, you know, with state finals right around the corner, we really got to get going on that livestock judging thing we've been talking about.
Yeah, but we don't even know what to do.
Okay, well, I've heard that we have to, judge during certain seasons and, look at livestock,
Nah, I think Coach said that we had to give reasons.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, we have to give reasons, but is there something we have to do to look the part at least? I mean, I've heard a few things, but...
I don't know. Let's check out these tips that Coach gave us. We're sure to take home the silver bowl with these puppies.
Silver bowl? Like, is it a dish or something? I mean, can we eat cereal out of it? I mean, it's a little bit extravagant, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But the first rule says that you must tuck your steno pad into your livestock pocket, aka the back of your pants.
Pants, yeah. Wait, I was supposed to wear pants?
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Okay.
Rule number 2, when giving reasons, assume proper livestock stance by hunching over at 45 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, well, put your hands behind your back.
Okay.
Okay, up a little, up, there you go, perfect.
Okay, cool.
Rule number 3, you must use a Midwest or Southern accent when giving reasons.
Oh, now everyone, we know that's easy, right?
And rule number 4, if you forget your placing, pick a random number from 1 to 4 and just hope for the best.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're ready for this. What do you think?
Yeah, wait, didn't Coach have that 5th one down?
Oh, yeah.
Talk to inanimate objects when giving those sets of reasons. We're talking like trees, walls, something like that. Yeah, podiums maybe.
Oh, those will work for today.
Okay.
All right, you ready to give this a try?
Yeah, we can try it out. In this class of outstanding, talented, and inspiring individuals, we elected to hear in the second session of the 87th Annual State FFA Leadership Conference from the following individuals.
From a talented class of agricultural educators, we elected to hear from Dr. McCabe, the head owl himself.
In the intermediate part of session 2, we elected to hear from a talented individual as our keynote speaker, Dr. Rick Rigsby. There's no doubt that he will reach out with ambition to the California FFA members.
What this last and final individual lacks in stature, he definitely makes up for with his passion. So to give us a strong finish, we elected to go with your state FFA Sentinel, Mr. Luis Sanchez, as he presents his retiring address entitled, "Welcome to Our World."
Wow. That wasn't too bad, Roman. We probably should work on that, but you know, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? In this second session, we will hear inspiring individuals like Dr. McCabe and also our keynote speaker, Dr. Rick Rigsby.
We will also hear for the first time from our state FFA choir and our state talent. And we will also recognize the new chapters of our association.
And finally, we will hear from your 2014-2015 State Sentinel, Mr. Luis Sanchez, as he delivers his retiring address.
California FFA, join us in this next session as we
reach out with ambition.
Think I've forgotten how to sleep. Think I've forgotten how to sleep. Oh, I don't wanna close my eyes, 'cause I just wanna stay alive. I'm fighting with the beast inside, 'cause I don't wanna close my eyes. Oh, I don't wanna close my eyes, 'cause I just wanna stay alive. I'm fighting with the beast inside, 'cause I don't wanna close my eyes. Oh, I don't wanna close my eyes. I'm fighting with the beast inside. Oh, I don't wanna close my eyes. I'm fighting with the beast inside. Oh, I don't wanna close my eyes. I'm fighting with the beast inside. Oh, I don't wanna close my eyes, 'cause I just wanna stay alive. I'm fighting with the beast inside, 'cause I don't wanna close my eyes.
Hey FFA, I'm David. And I'm Lehman. We just want to say thank you so much for having us at your convention this year. We had so much fun performing for you.
Yeah, and hopefully you had a good time watching.
That's right. We had a heck of a time. Hopefully we'll come back soon.
Yeah, next year?
Maybe next year.
We all understand the importance of our agricultural advisors, and this individual has served as an advisor in multiple capacities. He started his career at Palmdale High School and then taught for over 12 years as a member of the Chowchilla High School faculty. Once he became a member of state staff, he eventually served as a regional supervisor in 5 of the 6 regions during his career. He is instrumental to our state association and is currently serving as the state FFA advisor. Please help me in welcoming to the stage your state FFA advisor, Dr. Lloyd McCabe.
Well, good morning, and I bring you greetings from State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tom Torlakson, on attending your 87th Annual State FFA Leadership Conference. I find it fitting that you're reaching out during this conference, and so I'd like to reach out in 3 areas. The first area is your state officers. The second area is the accomplishments that you, the FFA members, have obtained during this year. And the third area is a personal reflection of my own journey to this point in time. So I'm going to start off with the state officers. If I could have the 6 state officers come before me on the stage, please. I know they're here. I know the Assistant State FFA Advisor, Josiah Mayfield, will have personal remarks about each and every one of you, and I certainly don't want to undercut his remarks about you as a group. But I thought I would thank you for your year of service. You 6 embody those qualities of leadership which I most admire in FFA members. You are dedicated, you're enthusiastic, you have character, you're intelligent, and above everything else, you work as a team. The most difficult thing to do is for groups of individuals to come together and work as a team. And I think that you, as an association, have done a remarkable job, and I think we owe you a round of applause for your year of service. The second area that I would like to reach out is what you, the FFA members, have accomplished this year. This has been rather remarkable in terms of what you members and your teachers have accomplished. And so I'll just list them off. You've set an all-time record in the number of state FFA degrees, an all-time record in the National Proficiency Awards, an all-time record in National FFA Championship teams earned. You've set an FFA membership record all-time, and you've had record participation in the Green Hand conferences, the Made for Excellence conferences, the Sacramento Leadership Experience, and the top the cake off here at this state FFA Leadership Conference. The 5,400 that are present today makes this the largest FFA convention in the history of our association. So congratulations. The third area is my own journey to this point in time. I was at the State FFA Executive Committee Last Supper Thursday night at the Convention Center. And your state president was reflecting upon the journey ends for some and begins anew for others. And it got me thinking about my own journey to this point in time. A long, long time ago, I once was a skinny, snot-nosed freshman at Nevada Union High School in Grass Valley in the Superior region. And I can tell you right now that it had not been for my mom and dad and my 4 freshman ag teachers, I would not be standing before you today. And so my journey actually begins by telling you a little bit of something about them. My 4 freshman ag teachers were Jerry Davis, Dennis Hampton, Harry Maddox, and Bob Pash. Now, for most of you, those names don't mean much. But to me, if it hadn't been for those 4, I would not have gained any of the successes that I have gained thus far in my career. And I have always been eternally grateful. They were not only great teachers, but when I became an ag teacher, they became my mentors. And over time, they became my lifelong friends. Recently, a couple weeks ago, I was journeying to Porterville to the state, California. I see that the mighty mean San Joaquin is alive and well. I was journeying to Porterville to attend the state ram sale. And accompanying me was my original high school ag teacher, Bob Pash, and his wife, Margie. And during that 6-hour drive, we reflected upon my youth and their youth and things that have transpired. I can only tell you that that 6-hour drive was priceless for me because I got to renew an acquaintance to a person that I so admire and so influenced my life's decision. If I could have the house lights on, please. House lights on, please. Thank you. FFA members, among you is approximately 500 ag teachers and an assortment of parents. And at this time, I would like all parents and FFA advisors to stand. Please, don't be bashful, stand. I would like to leave you with concluding remarks about these parents and teachers. Behind every great FFA member and student is an even greater parent and teacher. And I think that we should show them one more round of applause for their dedication in help molding your life. Thank you for inviting me to speak before you today. I hope you have a great convention, and good luck for the rest of the week. Thank you very much.
Dr. McCabe, on behalf of the entire California FFA Association, thank you for all that you have contributed to making our association such an incredible success. We truly appreciate all of your efforts towards making even this event possible. Please accept this as a small token of our appreciation. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Lloyd McCabe once more as he exits the stage.
There are numerous individuals who invest their time and efforts in our endeavors as agricultural education students. We are fortunate enough to have the support of the California Agricultural Teachers Association, who continue to keep agricultural education relevant and successful. Here to offer remarks is the CATA president. Please help me in welcoming Mr. Mike Albiani.
Good morning. I'm here to bring you greetings from the CATA and congratulations to each and every one of you for making the trip here to Fresno. Dr. McCabe talked about his reflections, and I can go back to remember that my first trip to the state FFA convention was much different than yours. We were reminiscing a little about this morning. Some of you probably sleep 4 to a hotel room. And some of our kids were talking about how, oh man, it's so crowded. And we recalled back that when we went to the state conference, my first time as a freshman, we stayed in bunk beds in the ag shop at Cal Poly, and how we've come a long way from those days. And some things are a lot better, and maybe some things are not a lot worse, because you sure meet a lot of people when there's 400 of you sleeping in one room. For you, this conference is a chance to challenge yourself. Try something new, meet someone new, get information about a team and how you can help point your chapter in the right direction for the future. My job is to represent those people that drive those white vans that bring you to these opportunities for you to make a difference in your life. Our goal is to see that you grow and expand your knowledge and skills during your time in the FFA. That's our challenge. But I'm going to leave you with a challenge. We need a little help. Nationally, there is a shortage of ag teachers. And that shortage is even starting to come as close as California. And like Uncle Sam used to say, we need you. What we need you is to think about as you plan your careers, as you see those people that model in front of you, those activities, and that get you to places and try to and teach you, and sometimes parent you. And think about how you could fit into those shoes somewhere 5, 10 years down the road. And to look at ag teaching as a potential career. As Dr. McCabe said, he remembers his ag teachers very fondly. One of my best friends is one of my former ag teachers. There are bonds that you can make over your career that words just don't say very well, I guess. So it'll be up to some of you to fill the shoes of your ag teachers as we move on into retirement or other types of professions. So I challenge you to come by the booth, look at the website teachag.com, get some ideas, think about it as you go on into your future career, and all of us and the future of ag education will be in really good hands if it's in yours. Thank you very much.
Mr. Albiani, thank you for dedicating your time to not only the California Agricultural Teachers Association, but also to the members of the California FFA Association. Without people like you, we wouldn't be able to succeed. Please accept this as a token of our appreciation. California FFA, Mr. Mike Albiani.
California FFA is lucky enough to have individuals that have incredible voices, and they have all come here together to form our state FFA choir. They have gone through an application process, and since their arrival here in Fresno, have been practicing to perform here at state conference. For their first performance, help me in welcoming, under the direction of Kathy Hernandez, your state FFA choir.
Good morning, California FFA. My name is Kiana Almier from the King City FFA chapter in the South Coast region. Today we'll be performing for you America the Beautiful by Samuel Ward. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Skies forever.
Let's give one more round of applause to the State FFA Choir. Each year, there are 6 individuals elected at the National FFA Convention who will serve the National FFA organization. Here at the 87th California State FFA Leadership Conference, we are lucky enough to have 2 visiting national officers, and we will hear from one of them today. She calls Greenlee, Colorado home and is currently serving as your Central Region Vice President. Please help me in giving a warm California welcome to Miss Kristen Schmidt.
Hey, California. So checklist item number 1 this morning was not fall up the ramp on my way up here. Done. Checklist item number 2 was take a picture of all your beautiful faces. So let's work on that. Got my handy dandy iPhone. P.S. to my knowledge, this is the only state convention that is set up like this. So y'all are pretty special. Here we go. Get loud, we're actually taking video. Yes! Sweet. We're gonna post it on the Facebook. But I wasn't kidding about the not tripping up the stairs thing. That's real life. And I was ridiculously clumsy as a little kid. Anybody feel me on that? Give me a hoop and a holler. Yeah, it wasn't uncommon for my mom to watch me and I'd be like walking around the house and pretty soon I bump into the coffee table or running down the stairs and whoop, there's the wall. That was Kristen's life. My mom looked at me one day and she's like, honey, this is not normal. Let's get this checked out. So she loaded little 3-year-old Kristen up in the car and we went to the eye doctor's office. Not the most fun thing for a 3-year-old, but we're surviving. Sitting in the van on the way to the eye doctor's office, we get there and we get out, I'm sitting in the chair and the eye doctor hands me this little book. Has anybody ever seen this little book before? It's the one that's got like the fly on it. And he's like, all right, Kristen, just pinch the wings. That's all you have to do, just grab them. I'm like, what wings? Okay, so he like takes the book back, puts it on the table behind him. He's like, let's try something else. All right, you see that chart across the way? Just read whatever line you can. All right, I got this. Standing up all tall and proud. Circle, circle, square, triangle, square. Kristen, those are letters. Oh. So that day, little Kristen got glasses, lo and behold. And it was so awesome. I remember sitting in the car on my way home, just sitting in the middle seat. You know, for some reason, I don't know why, by the way, car seats are always in the middle. Doesn't make sense to me because then you have to like press your face up against the glass to see what's going on outside. So here's little 3-year-old Kristen, face pressed up against the glass, leaning across the car, and all of a sudden I scream, Mom! The trees, there's leaves on them. For the first time, I saw the leaves on the trees. I could see that each one of them had a different shape. They were all on their own individual branches. When the wind blew through them, they all kind of trembled a little bit. And it was awesome. Sure, I had looked at trees before. You know, they were the brown sticks with the big fluffy green top. But in that moment, I saw them. How many times do we look at the world around us and fail to see its true value? Things like success, things like failure, things like risk are so easy to look at, but sometimes it's more challenging to truly see them. So fast forward a couple of years, 3-year-old Kristen is now 6-year-old Kristen, and she is pretty pumped. You see, this day, 6-year-old Kristen gets to compete in her first rodeo. Any rodeo fans? Me too. I grew up in a rodeo family. I grew up watching my older sister run barrels and poles and tie goats. My dad professional rodeoed for a little while. This was in my blood. And at 6 years old, it was my turn to compete for the very first time. Now, little did I know, while I was excited to compete, my parents were reveling in the glory of embarrassing their youngest daughter. Some folks have their kids play t-ball. We have our kids do this specific event. All right, 6-year-old Kristen lines up, ready to go, ready to compete in her first rodeo. Standing there, and suddenly all of my confidence is gone. I'm hiding behind my dad, hoping if I just get really, really small, maybe no one will notice me. Pretty soon, Dad coaxes me out from behind him, and he pushes me up to the line. He's like, Kristen, it's time to go. You need to step up. You need to do this. Little 6-year-old Kristen finally musters her courage. And remember, I said this was going to be really embarrassing. Listen to this. So there's a goat tied on a string, and little 6-year-old Kristen is about to chase after it, grab a ribbon, and run back. Yeah, that's called goat-tail pulling, and it is way more embarrassing than t-ball. That day, I didn't just compete in goat-tail pulling. Little Kristen ran, grabbed, and ran back so quickly that I won. Hello, it was so awesome. So naturally, I have my shiny blue ribbon hanging onto it all day long. And as we leave the rodeo, the first place we gotta go is to Grandma's house. I hit the door super fast, run to Grandma, sit on her lap, plop down, and my mom says, Kristen, tell your grandma what happened. Grandma, I won! No, Kristen, tell her the whole story. Tell her what happened. Mom, blue ribbon, I won. Kristen, you don't understand. Tell her what happened. You're not seeing it correctly. I was baffled. I had no idea what my mom was talking about. In that moment, I was looking at my win. I was looking at that victory as black and white, and my mom was truly seeing it. You see, my mom had saw her shy little daughter crouching behind her dad, not wanting to step up to that line. My mom saw terror in the eyes of a 6-year-old. And then she saw courage. She saw me step up to that line and do something that I had never done before, step out of my comfort zone. My mom saw a champion. And when I looked at that, I just saw a blue ribbon. How many times do we look at success and truly fail to see it? How many times do we look at the plaque on the wall and say, I'm a winner, but fail to look at the attributes in our heart that say, I am a champion? I'll flip that coin. I went to Greeley West High School, which none of you will know, but that's okay. We had about 200 students in our FFA chapter and one ag teacher. My ag teacher worked tirelessly to ensure that all students felt included and involved. There was one girl that I remember specifically was in my pre-vet class my junior year of high school. I remember sitting in the back of the classroom with her, and this young lady's name was Sam. She wore black skinny jeans and big clunky boots. She didn't say much. She would sit in the chair farthest away from the whiteboard and just try and not be noticed. But when the bell rang and Parley Pro practice came around, Sam was in the front of the room. Who's a Parley Pro fan? Sam was too, and it was so fun to watch her get excited about parliamentary procedure. As soon as that practice started, Sam was at the podium. She was no longer the girl sitting in the back of the room. She was running the demonstration. She was excited, and she motivated her teammates to practice hours before our district contest. When districts rolled around, it was time for Sam and her team to compete, and they were so excited. I couldn't help but be excited with them. I watched their demonstration. They did really well. And when it came time for awards, I sat next to Sam in those bleachers. They called the Advanced Parliamentary Procedure Awards that day, and Greeley West High School got dead last. Now, Sam and I were sitting right next to each other, but our perspectives could not have been more different. I looked at Sam's situation and saw failure. All of her hard work down the drain, the hours that she had put in, the excitement that she had, all for nothing. But Sam saw that experience, and the first question she asked our ag teacher when we got on the bus was, "Where's my scorecard? What's next? How can we improve?" Sam didn't let that failure be her finish line. She saw it for what it truly was. She took a hold of that opportunity, and instead of looking at failure, she saw it. Now, success and failure, these are things that we experience all the time. Whether it's with our sports teams, our families, our FFA chapters, it's all around us. But the true test comes when we don't look at that plaque on the wall, but see the value of those successes and failures within us. Who's ever visited Colorado? Anybody ever been to Colorado? Couple folks, that's pretty impressive. So I'm guessing that you all probably visited like the beautiful, picturesque mountain scenes of Colorado Springs and Breckenridge and the ski resorts. I'm not from there. No, my home is flat, so flat you can stand on a tuna can and see for 10 miles. There's maybe 5 or 6 trees to a square mile. Yeah, it's pretty flat. So I remember when I was little, we used to load up in the pickup every spring when it was time to go fix fence. And in order to make my sister and I work harder, my dad would kind of bargain with us. He'd be like, "All right, girls, today's the day, time to work. If you get all of this done by 3 o'clock, here's your reward." Now, sometimes these rewards were getting a Slurpee from 7-Eleven on the way home, but not today. Today, this reward was huge. Our dad had bargained with our mom, and he had got her to allow one of those things on Mama Schmidt's list of things her daughters will never do. Yeah, that was our reward, and we were so excited. The unthinkable was going to happen today. We were going to get to do something that our mom thought was far too risky for her daughters to be doing, and we were pumped. We checked fence that day faster than we ever had before. 4 miles in no time. And as the pickup crested the hill back towards the shed and the water tank, my sister and I started pestering our dad. Like, "Dad, what is it? What is it? What's our reward? We worked so hard, now what is it?" He's like, "Well, girls, talk to your mom. And that windmill, go ahead, climb it. You've been asking all spring. Whatever y'all want to do, play, just be ready to go in a couple of hours." As soon as he said the word windmill, my sister and I were off the pickup. We were not paying attention anymore. Jumped off the flatbed, running across the pasture, get to the water tank and the windmill. Now, my sister's 5 years older than me, so naturally I let her go first. And she climbs to the top of this 30-foot structure. And she's telling me about it. She's telling me how beautiful it is. She's looking at it around and seeing our entire pasture. And she comes back down. And I'm like, you know, this thing's been here for 60 years. It's going to make it another 60. Maybe I'll just wait. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. This not a good day for me to climb this windmill. I'll pass. My sister's like, Kristen, what is wrong with you? We waited all day for this. Yeah, but it looks a lot bigger right here than it did in the pickup. My sister looked me straight in the face and said, get over it. Thanks, okay, appreciate that. So little Kristen snuggles up next to this windmill. I'm standing at the bottom. My heart is racing, my knees are shaking, my palms are ridiculously sweaty. And I'm terrified. I finally mustered the courage to put my right foot on that first rung. Then my left hand, my right hand, my left foot, left hand, right foot, left foot. Pretty soon, I'm at the top of this windmill. My heart isn't racing anymore. My knees aren't shaking. My palms are still a little sweaty. But I can see everything. I looked around and saw the cattle in the draw. I saw the 3 trees on the entire pasture. I could see the ducks on the pond. I could see everything. Standing at the base of that windmill, I looked at it and was terrified. The risk was far too great. But when I got to the top and could see God's beautiful creation stretched out before me, it was so worth it. We think about risk, and oftentimes it's this big, lofty thing, too big for us to get our arms around. Things like skydiving and base jumping. Yeah, that's risky. But risk is extremely ordinary. Things like reaching your hand out at state conference and introducing yourself to someone from another chapter. Sticking your hand up in class and answering a question when your teacher can't get an answer out of anybody else. Maybe it's volunteering to help your mom with something that you've never done before, trying something new. Risk doesn't have to be huge. It can be extremely ordinary. And when we grab a hold of that risk, when we truly see it for the value that it brings, instead of looking at it and being terrified, then we get to realize all of those benefits. Going back to little Kristen, 3-year-old Kristen sitting in the middle seat of that minivan. That day was not about my vision. It wasn't about trees. It wasn't even about my own personal experience of seeing for the first time. It was about recognizing the difference between looking at the world around me and truly seeing it for all of its value. In a few days, folks, we're going to leave state conference. We'll go back to our homes, our FFA chapters, our sports teams, and that's when reality sets in. We kind of live in this FFA paradise for the few days a year that we get to be here with people that are passionate and talented and excited about the same things that we are. But where the real work starts is when we leave this place, when we're no longer surrounded by that, when it's not easy anymore. That's when it matters. Reality check, that is when it matters. When we look at the world around us, we miss the point. We have to truly reach out in order to see that value, to see success, to see failure, to see risk. And when we grab a hold of those ideas, it is life-changing. California FFA, as we head home, as we head back into the real world, don't just look at the world around you, truly see it. Thank you.
Kristen Schmidt, on behalf of the California FFA, thank you for spending some time with us here at convention and for reaching out to us with your message about truly being able to see the world. We're glad to have you here, and we hope that the rest of your National Officer year is filled with safe travel and happiness. Please accept this as a token of our appreciation.
Thank you so much.
California FFA, your Central Region National Vice President, Ms. Kristen Schmidt.
Now, you know, Roman, every time I remember going to a livestock judging contest, we always listened to different music to, keep that pace going. Because we were always judging during those certain seasons.
Sierra, we've been over this before. It's reasons with an R. Okay. But you're right. We do need some music to get us in the zone for this session.
Yep.
I think we need some state choir.
That's right, Roman. California FFA, welcome back to the stage, your state FFA choir.
Good morning, California FFA. My name is Rachel Garcia from the Greenfield FFA chapter in the South Coast region. Our next performance is going to be Oh Happy Day by Edwin Hawkins, and our soloist is Tamara Schutz.
Let's hear it for our state FFA choir one more time. The San Francisco native you are about to meet is a former award-winning journalist who followed a television news career with 6 years of graduate school, culminating with a PhD from the University of Oregon. A college professor for 2 decades, he spent most of those years at Texas A&M University, where he also served as the character coach and chaplain of the Aggies football team. He now devotes his full attention to empowering people worldwide, from presenting leadership principles in Nigeria to speaking to Fortune 500 companies in the Americas, Europe, and Canada. In high demand among educational, business, and service organizations, and a favorite among professional sports organizations, including the National Football League and the PGA, our guest speaker offers common sense wisdom to those desiring to rise to greater levels of excellence. California FFA, please help me in giving a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Dr. Rick Rigsby.
Okay, I'm tired. What's up, California? I got to tell y'all something. I've had the chance for the last 20 years to speak to national FFA conventions, almost every state in the United States, but there is nothing, absolutely nothing, like being back in my home state of California. Yeah! Oh yeah! I want to tell you, I really believe with all my heart that the FFA is the greatest youth organization in the world. And the reason why has been evident today. Unbelievable speeches, incredible music, tremendous presentations. I want to tell you, y'all got it going on. From Shasta County all the way down to the Santa Ynez Valley, from Willows and Red Bluff and Corning and Chico, all throughout Paradise, down in Southern California in the San Diego area, Bakersfield, Visalia, Tulare, come on somebody, Pleasanton, all throughout the state. Y'all are really absolutely awesome, and I'll tell you, I love being with the FFA. Give yourselves a hand one more time. I want to talk to y'all about the true meaning of success. And I think what's amazing to me is that it's been alluded to several times already throughout this morning, talking about having models of excellence around you that push you, that challenge you, that cause you to be the absolute very best you can be. It is time for my generation to pass the baton to you. The real issue is, are you ready? That's the real issue. Are you ready to reach out and grab the baton? And I want to just share a few things with you in the 3 to 4 hours that I'm going to talk to you today. In the words of King Henry VIII as he spoke to each of his 6 wives, I won't keep you long, baby. But in the few minutes that we have together, I want to just share with you just a couple of tools to make sure that you're ready. To make sure that you're ready to catch that baton, to grab that baton, and to move on in your career to the very next level. Let me tell you why this is so important. This is so important because how many of you know that we are living in a time where every single day it seems like folks are trying to turn wrong things and make them look right. How many of you know what I'm talking about? We live in a culture, what's up, y'all? We live in a culture where it's no longer fashionable to listen to mama and daddy. We live in a society where we think that it's far more important to look good than to be good. I gotta actually tell you, that's why I love the FFA. The FFA focuses on being excellent all the time. I wanna challenge you to make excellence in your life dominant, prominent, preeminent, zenith, number one, top drawer, central in your life. You ought be about the business of being the absolute best that you can possibly be. Why? So that you can reach out and achieve everything that you were born to achieve. The goal, y'all, is to make an impact and not just an impression. It's to make an impact. Everybody say the word impact. That ain't good enough. What is this, a Lutheran convention? Come on, y'all. Nothing against Lutherans. The great green jello. But can we get it a little higher? Everybody say impact. The goal is to live your life in such a way where you make an impact every single day, asking yourself, what can I do to be better? What can I do to grow? How can I master this biology class? What in the world can I do to make sure that while I'm on this team, I'm being a team player? What can I do to serve humankind? You know what, y'all? I'm sick and tired of folks who are self-serving. I want some FFA people to run for public office that will serve the United States of America. Here's the foundation right here. Here's the foundation. The foundation is this. You want to make an impact? Ready? Here it is. Listen to your mama and daddy and do what they tell you to do. Listen to those grandparents. How many of y'all got a wise grandmother? Raise your hand. A wise grandmother, Big Mama, Meemaw, Medea. I don't care what you call the lady. How many of you got a wise grandfather? Raise your hand. How many of you are blessed to have a great ag teacher? Raise your hand. Here's the goal. What good is their greatness if you're not listening? The goal is to suck the marrow out of every one of those models that God has really placed in your life, starting with mama and daddy. They're trying to teach you something. They're trying to teach you to be a great person who will do great things. The goal is to make an impact in life, and it starts with the home training of a mama and daddy. The wisest man I ever met in my life was a third grade dropout. I know that might sound rather oxymoronic, like jumbo shrimp or fun run. I understand what you're thinking. It might sound oxymoronic. I used to say like country music, but I've lived in Texas so long, I love country music, y'all. As a matter of fact, after I left California, I started hunting and fishing. I got cowboy hats, cowboy boots, a pickup truck. Y'all, I'm a black neck redneck. So it's not oxymoronic for me to say third grade dropout and wisest man in the same sentence. Watch this. Wisest man I ever met in my life was my daddy. Third grade dropout who grew up in rural California, in rural Texas, in Huntsville, Texas. He left school in the third grade to help out on the family farm. But just because he left school doesn't mean his education stopped. Mark Twain once said, "I've never allowed my schooling to get in the way of my education." Think about that one. And watch this. My father taught himself how to read by reading the local newspaper. He taught himself how to write by writing letters home during World War II. My daddy decided that he was going to stand and be a man in Texas in the 30s and 40s while America was breathing the last gasp of the Civil War. My daddy decided to stand, not as a black man, not as a brown man, not as a white man, but as a man. That's the kind of daddy that I had, y'all. After World War II is over, my father comes back home to Texas and announces to his family he's moving to San Francisco, California. My father moves to San Francisco after World War II. The first week he's here, he falls in love with a forklift driver. My mother was a bad mamma jamma, let me tell y'all right now. She was one of them ladies, you know, she's just incredible. Y'all might not know, but during World War times, women would hold jobs traditionally held by men. So my mother drove a forklift at an arsenal that supplied weaponry for the war. They get married, they rear their family in the San Francisco Bay Area town of Vallejo. That's where I grew up, in Vallejo, California. And my mom and dad rear us there, and we have a great, great childhood. And watch this. My daddy gets a job as a cook. A cook. At the height of his career, he's making $500 a month. But he gets a job at a school that trains merchant seamen, California Maritime Academy in Vallejo, California. In order for these students to graduate as midshipmen from college, they have to go to sea 3 months out of every year, the worst weather months on the nautical calendar. My daddy's a cook. He's on the support staff. He has to go to sea right along with all of these folks. Here's the bottom line. In a 30-year career, this third grade dropout from Huntsville, Texas, sailed the world 10 times over, learned 5 foreign languages. I want you to listen. I want you to listen to the wisdom that's already in your house. I want you to listen to the voices of a mother and the voices of a father that are already in your house, that are preparing you to be your best, to make an impact. My father had a profound impact on me. He had a profound impact on our family. My little brother was so spoiled. Y'all got any spoiled siblings at home? Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Everything got to be their way. They might as well have their own little wing to the house. Don't hurt little Timmy, little Sally. Don't hurt Biff, you know what I'm saying? But I'm so proud of my brother today. He's no longer spoiled. I was watching the ROTC come out earlier, reminding me of my brother. My brother, little Bobby today, he's the Honorable Robert Ray Rigsby, Superior Court Judge, District of Columbia. Watch this. Mom and Daddy couldn't afford to send Bobby to law school, so he joined the ROTC in high school and continued his affiliation with the United States Army through the reserves. He is also Colonel Robert Ray Rigsby, retired. And 5 years ago, my little baby brother from Vallejo, California, was the first judge in Washington, D.C. to accept deployment to Afghanistan. Why is that? Because he listened to the voice of a mama and a daddy. I'm not talking about being the cutest one at your school. I'm not talking about being the most popular one at your school. But why not be the most prepared to stand up, to reach out, and to make an impact, not just an impression? That's what I'm talking about. I want you to listen to these simple lessons from a third grade dropout daddy. I had a daddy quoting Michelangelo. Michelangelo said on one occasion, and then I think Henry Ford said it years later, but it originated with Michelangelo. He would say, boys, daddy doesn't have a problem if you aim high and miss, but daddy's gonna have a real issue if you aim low and hit. And then I had a Oklahoma mama who would say this: if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. I want to tell you something. The best education I ever got wasn't those years at the University of Oregon. The best education I got wasn't even during those wonderful years at Chico State. The best, yeah, baby. I'm a big old wildcat. The best education I got, listen to me, the best education I got, didn't realize it at the time. The best education I got, 18 years of home training with mama, with daddy, with aunts and uncles that were wise, with grandma and grandpa, with teachers that were committed to me. I got 18 years tuition-free, room and board training for the rest of my life. I don't want y'all to miss this opportunity. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, an opportunity missed is an opportunity lost. I don't want you to lose this opportunity. I want you to prepare yourself to reach out and to make an impact. Why? Because America needs you. Look at America. We are going to hell in a handbasket. Do y'all know something? Y'all know that we are the greatest country in the world? Do you know that? Well, I'm passing the torch to you so that we can start acting like the greatest country in America, y'all. Listen to these lessons from a third grade dropout. I hope they remind you of your mother and your father. Listen to this. Boy, I was called boy until I was like 30 years old. I thought that was my middle name. Boy, you'd rather be dad than always judging people. When you judge people, it strips them from their dignity. Don't judge people just because they're different than you. But Daddy, didn't you tell me that you'd have to get off a sidewalk to allow a man of another color to get on the sidewalk? Yes, son, that's called history. We live in the present. Don't judge people. Then he dropped Jonathan Swift on me, who said on one occasion, vision is the ability to see the invisible. Don't judge people. In other words, son, how can you impact somebody that you're busy judging? Don't judge. Tell me more, Daddy. Boy, yes, sir, you'd rather be an hour early than a minute late. Young folks, listen to me. Say, I'm listening. That ain't good enough. You're all getting down at that Catholic level. Come on, I need some excitement. Say, I'm listening. Let me interrupt my own speech and tell y'all something. As a former college professor of communication, let me tell you something. 50% of what you hear, you forget, just like that other remaining 50%, you lose 38% over the next 24 hours. May I say it one more time? 50% of what you hear, gone, just like that. Of the remainder, you only retain a certain amount. Not only that, how many of you know that you're easily distracted? How many of y'all been at church listening to the sermon, but your mind is 7 miles away at the local Luby's or the local Golden Corral? Y'all hear what I'm saying? Robin Sharma, I'm coming back to my point. Robin Sharma, S-H-A-R-M-A. Robin Sharma said the average person in America is distracted a minimum of 2 hours a day, interrupted once every 11 minutes, then it takes 30 minutes to return back to an alpha level of thinking. What are you saying, Dr. Rigsby? We live in a culture that we really don't listen, and on top of that, young lady, how you doing? Wake up, you, that right there, the white lady right there in the middle. And the reason why, is because we're so distracted by everything, right? And so that's why I tell you to listen. This is what my father said. Everybody say, I'm listening. Boy, you'd rather be an hour early than a minute late. I had a 9:55 start time this morning, I believe. I think that's the time. Let me check. Nope, 9:10 start time, 9:10. Me and my friend walked over from the hotel an hour and a half ago. Why? Because I had a daddy, listen to me, y'all. I had a daddy that taught me, get that spotlight on, I'm a dark one. Come on, stay with me, baby. I'm one of them big Negroes. I had a daddy who taught me that if you show up early, you honor the people that you're supposed to be with. There is no excuse for being late. Traffic is not an excuse. Road construction is not an excuse. A bad schedule is not an excuse. If you're supposed to be someplace at 7, get there at 6. Dr. Rigsby, why should I get there that early? Because you'll make an impact. You'll make an impact, not just an impression. Do you know what leadership truly is, young folks? And I know you know a lot about leadership. John Maxwell said, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Your ability to influence people within the sphere of your periphery will determine whether or not you're making an impact. I want y'all to make an impact. And making an impact means you got to pay a price. You can't do what everybody else does. You can't show up when you feel like showing up. You can't show up when you want to show up. Great people do things that other people don't. Great people are always asking themselves, what can I do to grow? How can I improve? How can I make sure that my team is benefiting from my contribution? Great people rarely think about themselves, rarely think about their comfort level, rarely think about their feelings or their emotions. You don't hear great people going, I don't feel like No. That's the home training you're getting at home today. Parents telling you, push past your feelings. Parents telling you, push past your emotions. Parents telling you, do your absolute best, your gut level best to be great. And so when you show up an hour early, guess what? Your influence grows and grows and grows. Remember the words of John Maxwell. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Your ability to influence people in your environment will determine whether or not you're making an impact. My father had the morning and lunch shift, breakfast and lunch shift as a cook. He had to be at work at 5 o'clock in the morning. California Maritime Academy was only 10 minutes from our house. He had to be at work at 5 in the morning. The school was only 10 minutes from our house. My mother said for 30 years, my daddy left every morning at 3:45 in the morning. She said one time to him, she said, Daddy, why do you leave so early? Here's his response. Are y'all listening? Say, I'm listening. Here was my daddy's response. I want my boys to wake up one day and catch me in the act of excellence. I have two thoughts. First, Aristotle. You are what you repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence ought to be a habit, not an act. You are what you repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence ought to be a habit, but not an act. Let me warn you, in a shallow, superficial society like the one we're in 2015, guess what? Excellence is not a habit. It's an act. It's a one-night stand. It's something that we put on. It's something that we adorn when the rewards are high. But great people work at excellence all day long. Second thing I want to tell you is this. I'm thinking about what my mother said to my dad. Why do you go to work so early? My father's response. I want my kids to catch me in the act of excellence. Watch this. Years later, I'm in my office at Texas A&M. I'm reading Harvard Business Review, September 2004. The article is titled Deep Smarts. Here's the thesis. Lecturing, what our schools are based upon, is the worst kind of teaching method, according to Harvard. That if you want to get the intended message across, model the behavior. Young folks, I want to ask you one question. What are you modeling? Are you modeling, I'm following the world, I'm doing everything the world wants me to do, I'm following Bo, Joe, and Flo, I'm playing kissy-kissy in the back seat when I know better? What are you modeling? Fellas, what are you modeling? What are you modeling? Ladies, young ladies, what are you modeling? The reason why I love the FFA is because they have set a standard that a woman acts like a woman and a man acts like a man. And I want to tell you something, that didn't start when you joined the FFA. That started at mama and daddy's house. Pay attention to what you're modeling. My daddy modeled, boy, you'd rather be an hour early than a minute late. And you know what? We're talking about discipline. That's what I'm talking about. If this was a church service, I'd say it this way. For the moment, all discipline is painful rather than pleasurable, but later it yields peaceful fruits of righteousness to those that are trained by it. But since this is not church, I'll just say we're talking about discipline. That's what we're talking about, is discipline. That's all we're talking about. Let me break it down to y'all. Last time I spoke to the California FFA, I weighed 404 pounds. That's a lot of jelly donuts. I could make love to a bucket of chicken. Y'all hear what I'm saying to you? That might be too much of a visual this early in the morning. I weigh 270 pounds today. I've lost 134 pounds. Oh yeah, baby. And you ain't gonna believe how. I simply reduced my portions and started exercising. There's a word for it. It starts with a D, it ends with an E. It's called discipline. I want to ask you all a question. What would happen right now, freshman? What would happen right now, sophomore? What would happen right now, junior? What would happen right now, senior, if you just pay attention if you just increased your discipline by 10%. Well, Dr. Rigsby, why are you talking to us like that? I'm talking to you because the next DPAC is sitting right here, right now. The next president is sitting right here. Right. Dr. Rigsby, why are you talking to us like that? Because the next Martin Luther King Jr. may be sitting here. Y'all know who that is? I have a dream. It's a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. That down in Mississippi, with its vicious, racist governor, whose words drip with the blood of interposition and nullification. I have a dream that one day justice will fall like a mighty stream. Maybe the next Martin King in here today. The Mother Teresa, maybe the next Mother Teresa in here today. Maybe the next President of the United States in this room today. A congressman, a senator, right there in this room today. You gotta prepare yourself. You gotta pay the price. You just got to make sure that you're holding firm to all the wisdom that you can grab hold of. Every single day, Mama is depositing wisdom. Every single day, Daddy's depositing wisdom. I know it doesn't sound like it. I know it doesn't. I've been 17. I had an afro so big I couldn't get in the Volkswagen. I've been there. But watch this. Here's a glaring example of what I'm talking about. Have y'all ever heard your parents say, if you use one of my tools, make sure you return that tool right where you found it? Do I have a witness out there? Guess what Mom and Daddy are trying to teach you? That there's a standard that we want you to adhere to. You see, you don't think about it as wisdom at 17, but trust me, I'm 59, it's wisdom. It is wisdom that causes me to pursue everything with excellence, the excellence of a mother and father. So when they say, you show up an hour early, when they say, increase your life with discipline, when they say, don't judge, I'm listening to them. Daddy, tell me more. Boy, kind deeds are never lost. You want to really make an impact? Be kind. FFA members, I'm looking for kind people. People that hold the doors for other people. People that'll let you in on the 5 or on the 101 or on the 99. Folks that will think of you before they think of themselves. I get to do a lot of chapel services for the National Football League. I see those guys do some incredible things like bench press 300 pounds 20 times. I've even seen guys from a flat-footed position jump 40 inches, vertical leap. I even saw a white guy do it once. 40. But you know what really stops me in my tracks? Is when I see one of those gladiators, one of those millionaires show kindness to somebody. It literally stops me in my tracks. Have you ever heard of George Washington Carver, y'all? You talk about a man that could have been part of the future farmers of America. He was a great agriculturalist. He might have been the father of recycling. He really was. George Washington Carver, forget the sweet potatoes. Forget the peanuts. George Washington Carver said on one occasion, when common people do common things in uncommon ways, they command the attention of the world. I just described your grandmother. I said, I just described y'all's grandmother. When common people do common things in uncommon ways, the world stops. What are you saying to us, Dr. Rigsby? When you're kind, when you don't judge folks, when you show up an hour early, you don't have to walk around styling and profiling. You don't have to walk around trying to prove the worth of who you are and the rightness of what you do. When you're kind, when you show up an hour early, when you give everybody dignity by not judging them, guess what happens? You arrest the attention of the world. I need some of y'all, I need all of y'all to start paying more attention to your ag teachers, to your uncles, to your aunts, to your mamas, to your daddies, to your grandmas, to your grandpas, because it's time for us to pass the torch to a new generation so that you can reach out and make an impact to all people. Let me give you one more. Hey, son. Yes, Daddy. You really want to make an impact? Help people. Make sure that your servant's towel is bigger than your ego. Y'all know what ego is? I said, y'all know what ego is? Yeah. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. In other words, my country mother used to say it like this: boy, you walk around like your stuff don't stink. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Here's the point, y'all. When you're full of yourself, you can't help anybody else. When it's all about you, how many of y'all know somebody that's full of themselves? Just keep looking straight ahead in case they're at your right or your left. You never help anybody else when it's all about you, right? You don't help anybody else. It's all about you, right? Don't want you to be that way. You know what I'd rather for you to be? I'd rather for you to walk in humility. Everybody say the word humility. There's a power in that word. Humility, the absolute God-given ability that eliminates the need to prove the worth of who you are and the rightness of what you do. Well, guess what, y'all? Being a servant will make you humble. Why? Because it forces you to leave the chains and shackles of your own sense of self-importance and reach out and help somebody else. You know who comes to mind when I think of that? There's an old basketball coach. Hey, parents, how many of you parents and advisors and teachers remember the name John Wooden from UCLA? Make some noise, parents, if you remember who I'm talking about. Young folks, listen to this. John Wooden coached for years at UCLA. I believe he won 12 national championships, 7 in a row, right? But to me, guess what his greatest feat was? He would be caught all through the week pushing a broom to sweep his own gym floor because he was here not to be served. Come on, somebody. He was here to serve. And when you make a decision to serve, all kind of doors open up to you. All kinds of opportunities come your way because you will be the kind of person who has been identified as a one who makes an impact, and not just an impression. When I was growing up, you know what? I want to tell y'all something. When I was growing up, didn't matter what was on television. When mom and daddy said help, we had to help. When I was growing up, we only got 3 channels. Only had 3 channels. Those of you over 30, make some noise if you know what I'm talking about. 3 channels. You know what you young folks are looking at? You are looking at an original remote control. It works something like this. Hey, boy, get up and change that channel right away, daddy. And we'd have to change the channel manually. And it didn't matter what was on TV. It didn't matter what was going on. When mama and daddy said help, you help. No ifs, ands, buts about it. My favorite show was Batman. Y'all ever hear of Batman? And we had the Jiffy Pop popcorn. Well, y'all don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Y'all got microwave popcorn today, but we had Jiffy Pop, just as much fun to make as it is to eat. That's a lie from hell, because you do this for 35, 40 minutes. Popcorn blacker than James Brown, but that's all right. We watched Batman. Soon as Batman came on, my mother or my father, the ag teachers of my house, would issue a command to help. Ricky, oh God. Yes, mother? Ricky, go next door and help Mr. Jones move 10 cord of wood. It's gonna rain tonight. Yes, mother. Mother, may I ask you a question? Can I watch Batman and then boy, take your fat butt next door and do what I told you to do. I need to explain something to you young folks. Back in my day, I grew up in the 50s and 60s. When mama and daddy said jump, we said how high. I wanted to be white so bad growing up because my white friends got timeouts. A timeout? I could time how long I was knocked out, but we didn't have no timeouts. I'm not gonna even go to you with the switch and the willow tree. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Man, if I see a willow tree in Fresno today, I'll pee all over myself. Y'all hear what I'm saying to you? But every time my mother and father told me to do something, we jumped. First of all, we knew what the repercussions were. But we also jumped because their voice had credibility. Their voice had ethos. Their voice had clout. You know why? Watch this. Because my mom and dad practiced what they preached. I don't know any of you in here, but I can tell you something about your grandparents. I bet your grandparents worked themselves to the bone, especially if they were in farming. I bet your grandparents worked hard. But can I tell you something about your grandparents? No matter how hard they worked, I bet they always made time to help somebody in need. Am I right, y'all? Look up, look up, look up. We have lost that value in American culture. In a 50-year period, we have lost that value. While we've been busy styling and profiling, looking cute, laughing when it's not funny, scratching where it doesn't itch, driving Land Rovers and we ain't even got no land, while we've been just kind of cruising all around, trying to make sure we make a nice impression. We've got a whole generation of folks that have not been helped, that have not been served. You want to get prepared for your future? Listen to your mother and father when they say help, and help with excellence. And that just leads me to my final point, the last thing I want to share with you. My father said a profound thing once. He said, son, if you're going to do a job, do it right. I know grammatically it ought to be do it well, but I love that old school do it right. I'm thinking about a little boy that grew up in Los Angeles. He wanted to play Little League Baseball, but his mother couldn't even afford to buy him a glove. This boy was good at baseball, and when he got his chance, he really shined. He was so good, he got a scholarship at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Anybody from Cal Poly? Great part of the country. Not only did he shine at Cal Poly, but he was drafted by the San Diego Padres. Not only that, he helped the St. Louis Cardinals win a World Series. Here's the bottom line. 11 years ago, when Ozzie Smith walked into the Hall of Fame, he said, and I quote, "All my life I've been told what I could not do. But I decided to pursue excellence, and I was guided by one motto: good enough isn't good enough if it can be better, and better isn't good enough if it can be best." FFA, I don't want you to ever forget that. Good enough isn't good enough if it can be better. Better isn't good enough if it can be best. We got a whole bunch of folks in America that are just going through the motions, giving a half-baked effort and calling it a day. That's why, as we pass the torch on to y'all, anytime your mother, your father, your ag teacher tells you to do something, you don't just go through the motions. Don't just turn it in and walk away, but make sure it's your absolute best. Those are the lessons I learned from a third grade dropout daddy. Lessons that have profoundly shaped my life. Lessons that have prepared me to make an impact, not just an impression. And if you will allow me, I'd like to close with a very personal story that I think will bring everything into sharp focus. Back in the 1970s, I met the finest woman I had ever met in my life. Oh yeah, baby. Back in my day, we would have called her a brick house. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I mean, she was fine. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Fine. And there's just one little problem. Back in the 70s, ladies didn't like offensive linemen. Ladies liked basketball players, wrestlers, rodeo guys, come on somebody, baseball players, I know, track players, swimming players, golf players. If you were on the football team, you better be a quarterback or a running back or a wide receiver if you wanted ladies. Do I have any quarterbacks or running backs or wide receivers? Raise your hand. Wow, a lot of y'all. Punks. Anyway, we get over to this dance, and we all meet this woman, Trina Williams from Lompoc, California. Trina Williams. She is so beautiful. All my buddies are dancing with her. I took one look at her and I thought, man, she's out of my league. So I walked over to the snack table. They had just come out with Cheese Whiz. I wanted to see how far I could get the nozzle from, anyway. So I'm at the snack table. After about 2 hours, I decided to go out and dance with her. I introduced myself. I said, hi, my name is Ricky. She said, my name is Trina. I said, may I dance with you? She said, sure. And so we're dancing, doing the bump, having a great time. And I got carried away, y'all. True story. Trina was the first woman, actually, Trina was the only woman who gave me her real telephone number when I asked for it. Only woman. Only one. I had so many girls give me the wrong number. I'm looking for Shanique one night, and she gave me the number to Pizza Hut. And anyway, so I called Trina the next day and asked her to go to Baskin & Robbins Ice Cream Parlor with me. Have y'all heard of Baskin & Robbins Ice Cream Parlors? So we walked the 6 miles there because my car wasn't working, and I made her laugh the whole time. We went on a second date. My buddies couldn't believe it. We go on a third date. We go on a fourth date. We start going together. We go together for a month, 2 months, 3 months. We're at Chico State. I drive her home to Vallejo to meet my mother and father. My daddy, my hero, after meeting Trina, he pulls me to the side and says, is she psycho? But we kept dating, and we dated. A year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years we dated. Now Trina is a senior in college. I'm still a freshman, but I'm working some things out. Y'all hear what I'm saying to you? You know what? I'm so glad I graduated from college in 4 terms. Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Now, it's time to propose. And so, it's California. It's in the 70s. So, you know, it's got to be outside, and you have to have some flowers and some candy, some chocolates, a candle. And I got down on one knee. I couldn't get back up, but I got down on one knee. Y'all ain't gonna believe this. To my shock, she said yes. I married the finest woman I've ever met in my life. It was absolutely awesome. The year was 1978. I started working at Channel 12 in Chico, California. My wife, Trina, worked as a labor and delivery nurse at Feather River Hospital in Paradise, California. We eventually had a couple of children. My job would eventually have me covering the San Francisco Giants, San Francisco 49ers. I'm telling y'all, life was fantastic. I got 2 children, a trophy wife who's smoking hot. I got everything. And then all of a sudden, one day, Trina finds a lump in her left breast. Breast cancer. As a matter of fact, it was really hard to come back to Fresno for one reason. She was diagnosed at St. Agnes Hospital, that great, great hospital here in Fresno, California, when I was a faculty member at Fresno State. 6 years after that diagnosis, me and my 2 little boys walked up to Mommy's casket. Let me ask you a question. Have any of you precious young folks lost a mama or a daddy or a brother or a sister? Raise your hands. My Lord. Well, let me just encourage you. Let me encourage you. I want you to listen carefully. I want all of you to listen. Because what I didn't realize at the time was that this was preparation too. And I want you to see the role of a parent in all of this. So when Trina died, we were lost. I can remember me and my 2 little boys sleeping in the same bed, crying ourselves to sleep night after night after night. If it wasn't for my faith in God, I wouldn't be standing here today. I wouldn't be. If it wasn't for those 2 little boys, I'd have had no reason to go on, no purpose for which to go on. But guess who gave me the greatest wisdom on earth, if anybody else? A 3rd grade dropout, uneducated daddy. Watch this. Watch. We're at the casket. We're at Trina's casket. I'd never seen my daddy cry before. He's a big old Texan. Never seen him cry before. But over the last 20-some years, Trina had become his daughter, not just his daughter-in-law, but his daughter. And he's looking into the casket, and he just broke down. And he realized I was right behind him, about to see her for the last time on this earth. And he turned to me, and he sobered up, and he put those big arms around me, and he whispered 3 words that changed my life. Here's a daddy. Watch this. He said, "Son, just stand." You know what, Deepak? You know what, officers? You know what, Mr. Josiah Mayfield and your whole team? I don't know if there's anything more profound that I can share with your members than these words. Young people, listen. If you haven't listened to anything else, I want you to listen to this. In life, you're going to have highs and you're going to have lows. Keep standing. No matter what. Folks are going to turn their backs on you. Folks are going to lie in your face. You're going to have folks that one day say they're for you, and the next day they're against you. Keep standing. You're going to have victories. You're going to have defeats. You're going to have valleys as well as mountaintops. Keep standing. You're going to have parents get sick. You're going to have grandparents die. You're going to lose friends. Don't quit, young folks. Whatever you do, don't quit. I'm begging you, don't quit. If you've got a strong mama, and I know you do, if you got a strong daddy, and I know you do, if you got strength in the ranks of your grandparents, and I know you do, if you've got strong ag teachers, and I know you do, I love ag teachers, I ain't never met a bad one yet. If you got strong folks in your family, gain strength from the way that they model their lives and you keep standing. Because you never know what can happen if you keep standing and if you don't quit. Y'all, I kept standing, and you ain't gonna believe what I'm about to tell you. 2 years later, a miracle. My heart started to beat again. I was speaking now again, and right in the middle of a speech just like this, I spotted the finest woman I have ever met in my life again. Right before me and Janet were married, she announced to me that once we're married, she's going to adopt my 2 little babies, fulfilling Trina's last wish that her babies not go through life without a mama. And then we had 2 more children. That's right, 4 boys, from 32 all the way down to Joshua, who's 14. Joshua's nickname is Pup. He's the pup of the litter. Pup asked me 2 days ago, "Where are you going this weekend, Daddy?" I said, "I'm going to Fresno, California to speak to the California State FFA." He said, "What you wearing?" I said, I'm wearing a brown jacket and some blue slacks and a purple shirt." He goes, "That sounds boring, so wear these socks, Daddy. Put these socks on." Can y'all see them? Pup. What's your point, Dr. Rigsby? Look at the role parents play in your lives. Look at the role ag teachers play in your lives. Don't expect to realize it right away. But when Trina died nearly 20 years ago, I was a 41-year-old man, completely broken, lost and all alone, and I got an uneducated daddy saying, "Don't quit, boy. Don't give up, boy. You keep standing, boy. Tough times don't last, boy. You keep going on, boy." And because of those words, I kept standing and got to experience life all over again. But I leave you with this. 2 days before Trina died, no hair because of chemotherapy, a tummy pooched out because of a liver no longer working. She weighed about 70 pounds. I remember 2 days before she died, she was folding a shirt for our youngest son, Andrew. Her breathing was labored, and this is what I recall. "Andrew, Mama is not always going to be here to show you how to fold a shirt. You have to learn for yourself." She was saying goodbye. And it so moved me, I went over and sat next to her amidst all the pillows that were trying to prop her up to ease the pain. And she looked me in the eye, and she said something that I want to leave with y'all. This is what she said 2 days before she died. She said, "Honey, it doesn't matter to me any longer how long I live. What matters to me most is how I live." FFA, I want to ask y'all one question. How you living? Not anything else. Not what do you own? Not who are you related to? Not where you've been? Not what your possessions are? Not any of those things that we think are really important. One simple question I want to ask you. How you living? Because how you live determines how one day you're going to lead. And so here's how I hope and pray that every one of you are living. I hope you're showing up early. I hope you're not judging people. I hope that you're so kind that you literally arrest the attention of the world. Here's how I hope you're living. That your servant's towel is bigger than your ego. That when you're called to do something, you do it to the very best of your ability. Because when you live like that, I don't think, but I know that you've been listening to a wise ag teacher. that you've been listening to a wise ag advisor, that you've been listening to a wise grandma, a wise grandpa, a wise mom, a wise dad. And all together, they have prepared you for just the precise moment when you'll reach out and make an impact. My hope for you, my prayer for you, is that you learn every lesson you can, and then you go and make a difference in this world. God bless y'all. California FFA. I love y'all. God bless you. Thank you.
Dr. Rigsby, thank you for coming to our convention and not only making an impression, but reaching out and making an impact. Your words will stick with us, and we will be able to reach out to better our chapters and communities. Please accept this as a token of our appreciation.
So honored, Roman. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. God bless you.
California FFA, Dr. Rick Rigsby.
Now, Roman, I am really liking the way some of these cattle are having that new fresh look. They're all fluffy and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. But you know what else I like the new fresh look of? The new chapters of our association.
California FFA, join us in welcoming our new chapters to the stage.
Local chapters are crucial to the success of California FFA and are the heart of our association. We are proud to be able to welcome new chapters into our association. Please help me welcome our new chapters into the California FFA family. The new chapters who will be receiving their official charter are Central Catholic High School in Modesto, Emmanuel Charter High School in Reedley, Summit Charter High School in Porterville, Trivium Charter High School, and Woodland Christian High School. Congratulations!
Let's congratulate our new chapters into our association one last time as they exit the stage.
I've noticed that people have their rhythm down when they're preparing for their reasons in livestock judging.
Right.
Haven't you?
That pace that they have going. They walk back and forth, you know, using their hands a lot. Well, you know what? I think this next individual definitely has their pace and rhythm going. California FFA, join us in welcoming up state talent.
Hey, California FFA. My name is Amanda Perry, and this is Tyler Warner from the Nevada Union Chapter in the Superior Region. I've been trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life. I've been sleeping here instead. I've been sleeping in my bed. Sleeping in my bed. So show me, family, all the blood that I will bleed. I know where I belong. I know where I'm wrong. I can write a song. I belong with you, you belong with me in my sweetheart. I belong with you, You belong with me, you're my sweet. I don't think you're right for him. Think of what it might have been if you took a bus to Chinatown. I'd be standing on Canal in Bowery. You'd be standing next to me. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. And love, we need it now. Let's hope for some. There's hope, we're bleeding out. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweet.
Should we bow?
Good morning, California FFA. My name is Edwin Sanchez, and I am here to help introduce my big brother and our 2014-2015 California State Sentinel, Luis Sanchez. I am very proud of my big brother Luis because he is a good influence, not only for me and my younger sisters, but for California FFA. Luis has motivated me to become a member of the Gonzales FFA. He is a person who has motivated us to accomplish our goals and think positively.
My name is Gianna Escobar, and I've had the privilege of knowing Luis for the past few years. I've had the opportunity to watch him grow from a soft-spoken young man who let me name his favorite pig to now an outspoken young boy who has taught me what all the cool kids are doing through countless YouTube videos. I didn't realize that the cool kids were singing "What Does the Fox Say?" dancing around in a dog suit, but apparently Luis does. So from him teaching me the selfie song and me teaching him the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rap, Luis has always had the ability to turn every moment into his own.
Growing up, Luis and I loved playing soccer. Luis being older than me, it was pretty clear he was much better than me at playing soccer. We would play in the same team, but in different divisions. As my team lost, I couldn't count on Luis to score goals for me while he was playing against another team. Luis had amazing skills that I didn't have. As I grew older, I realized soccer wasn't my sport, but I knew and appreciated his effort for me and my team.
I've always admired Luis for his patience. He's always put up with my constant criticism, which, trust me, is not an easy task. Whether it was me yelling from the fair ring to get his pig's head up, or tearing apart a speech, he took it all in strides. He was always able to get that pig's head up and turn that speech into something memorable.
Luis was definitely a soft-spoken person, for I could say. Yo le decía los mandados. He would not even go to the store and pick up some simple groceries or ask for something at the grocery store. He would send me in, but I guess that's how life has turned out for the both of us, because now I do the same with our sisters. Luis has now grown away from that. Now I look up to him, not only for his sportsmanship and passion to succeed, but his ability to go outside of his comfort zone. One Halloween, when we both dressed as Scorpion for Mortal Kombat,
and I had no fear over what we did because we don't run, we fight. I hope one day, now that you have faced life challenges without a costume and have shown me to overcome defeat, that I too can remove the disguise and go outside of my comfort zone.
Over the past year, Luis has had the opportunity to serve this great organization. And out of all the traveling and all the memories, he cherishes most the chapter visits with you. California FFA, I hope that throughout this year, some of you have been motivated by Luis as much as we have been. Thank you for taking our small town Gonzales boy and welcoming him wherever he went. I can confidently say that Luis has been touched by your generosity and motivated by your passion.
Now please help me in welcoming to the stage my brother
And your FFA State Sentinel,
Luis
Sanchez.
From the sky to the sea, to the air that we breathe, from the depths of the earth to the stars. Light up the world, run like you're born to fly, live like you'll never die, dare what you dare to dream, and everything in between. I had an epiphany one night, looking at the endless star-filled sky. The world is
California FFA, welcome to our world. A world where the number of words posted on Twitter each day can fill up a 10 million page book. A world where the number of time that we spend watching television, it's 34 hours a week. A world where the average person spends more than 3 hours each day on their cell phone. Our world is traveling very quickly, and sometimes I feel like a new iPhone is coming out. I feel like every day there's always this iPhone coming out, and our world is traveling very quickly. Rewinding back to my 6th grade year at Shalom Peaks Middle School, let's just say you weren't cool if you didn't have the new LG chocolate phone. Now, this wasn't just any kind of phone. This was the coolest phone because it would slide up, was half MP3 player, had cool games like Pac-Man and Tetris, and it even had 4 gigabytes. And back then, 4 gigabytes was a lot. This is what I dreamed of having. And once I had it, I didn't want it anymore. I thought that by having this item, I'd be cool in school, but that wasn't the case. Social media and television paints a picture in our minds that we must have these items in order to be successful. Commercials are always advertising the latest and greatest inventions, such as trucks with Wi-Fi, Kobe's new Nike shoes, and expensive jewelry. These are items that we see everywhere we go, and society forces us to buy these items. When we buy these items, are we instantly satisfied? Do we ever ask ourselves, I don't need the latest and greatest because I have this? Most of the time, the answer is no. I believe that we need to value and be thankful for the things that we are already blessed with. In FFA, we also have things that we want. We're constantly competing with ourselves and others. We want to hold leadership offices. We want to win blue ribbons, plaques, and belt buckles. We live in a society that makes us think that the more we have, the happier we are. We want to check all the boxes we can, and sometimes it's just not possible. I realized this freshman year when I competed in the FFA Creed. Going back to my freshman year, I was really excited to compete in the Creed. I was so excited that sometimes I wouldn't spend time with my family. I wouldn't go to my soccer games or hang out with friends. This competition meant more than just competing in the FFA Creed. It was something that I had dedicated my time and efforts to. The day of the competition arrived in King City, and I walked in with confidence. I knew that I had a good chance to win that blue ribbon and plaque that I dreamed of having. That evening, I waited for my name to get announced. They announced third place, then second place, and I patiently waited for my name to get announced for first place. That evening, when they announced first place, it wasn't my name. I felt disheartened. My heart dropped. On our way back in the ag van, it was silent, and I didn't even say a word. I reflected on everything that had just happened. I kept asking myself the same question over and over again. Was this worth it? Was it worth not spending time with friends or family members? Was this worth it? When I got back home, I remember opening my house door, and my mom was waiting for me in the living room to hear all about it. With excitement, she asked me, how did it go? One simple question that I wasn't able to answer in that specific moment. I remember bursting into tears, just like a little kid would when they are frustrated with themselves. That evening, my mom told me something that I would never forget. She told me to cherish the moment and value the experience. You see, the time and work that I dedicated to compete in the creed had more value than a blue ribbon or plaque will ever have. We can spend our entire lives wanting all these items, and once we have them, we don't want them anymore. Blue ribbons fade away and medals tarnish, but the memories and values that we have never go away. They stay with us. It's extremely crucial for us to value the things that we are given. I learned this lesson this year when chapter visits began. I traveled up and down the state of California, visiting chapters way up north in Tule Lake and all the way down south in Calexico. Every chapter that I visited, I found something valuable, something special that made each chapter different from the rest. One of the chapters that really stood out this year was the Merced Golden Valley. Haley and I were scheduled to visit this chapter on December 12th. And just like the other chapters we visited, we would arrive the previous day, meet their ag teachers, chapter officers, and staff. We were invited to one of their chapter meetings, and when we got there, one of their ag teachers, Mr. Jacobson, was there to greet us. At this meeting, it was nothing that we had to compare to because this chapter was really cool. They had a really cool chapter meeting going on, and Haley and I experienced something really cool that day. The students were decorating Christmas trees to donate at their Make-A-Wish rally. At this rally, students, staff members, and teachers get together to combine all their efforts to give and donate to the people in need during Christmas time. After the next day, Haley and I participated in the Make-A-Wish rally. And when we were done with our workshops, we were really excited to go to the rally. At this rally, one of the stories that caught my attention was from Oscar Nunez. Oscar is a junior at Golden Valley High School, and the things that Oscar has experienced, I wish no one will ever have to go through. Oscar lost his mom last year, and this year he lost his father. As I listened to his story, I began reflecting on my life. How would my life be if I didn't have my parents? I closed my eyes, and I wasn't able to picture this world without my parents. My parents had done so much for me and had sacrificed all they had to give me a better education. I immediately reflected back to when I was 6 years old. I remember watching my parents go to work at 5 a.m. to harvest lettuce, tomatoes, and spinach in the Salinas Valley. I remember watching them come home extremely tired, and all they wanted to do was have dinner as a family and get some rest for the next day. At that age, I didn't understand. I wanted to spend more time with my family. I remember telling my dad that I couldn't wait to grow up. I wanted to get my driver license to go to different places so I could have fun. My dad looked at me, he kneed down, and straight in the eyes, he said, "Todo a su debido tiempo," which means all in good time. As the years go flying by, sometimes I wish they wouldn't. I now understand why he said that. Sometimes we don't value the things that we have until we lose them. It's extremely important for us to value those things and be thankful for what we have. When you go back home, make a list of the things that you have and the things you want. After you finish that list, cross out all the things you want and focus on the things you have. We will end up having more if we focus on all the things that we have. If you constantly think of all the things you want, you will never have enough. What are you thankful for? I'm extremely thankful for having amazing parents. To my parents, thank you for lending me your arms when I needed a hug. Thank you for lending me your ears when I needed someone to talk to. Thank you for lending me your heart when I needed love. To my ag teachers, thank you for teaching me valuable skills. Thank you for being mentors in my life. I really appreciate it. To my teammates, thank you. Thank you for accepting me for who I am and making countless memories which I cherish and value. To the Mayfield family, thank you for opening your hearts and welcoming me into your family. And to the California FFA, if you could do me one last favor, if you could turn to the person right next to you and hold their hands. My time as a state officer is coming to an end, and it is because of you that this year has been one of the greatest years that I've ever had. Whether it was an MFE or chapter visits, I learned something new. Throughout these years, I have learned so many things, and it was because of you. California FFA, thank you for letting me serve you this year. Thank you for giving me countless memories that I cherish and value. In our world, we don't have unlimited time. Each day, we are given 86,400 seconds, 1,440 minutes, 24 hours that we can spend, invest, or waste. And yet, a lot of people don't treat it as anything valuable. We can't change our world, but we can definitely change our actions and the way we look at things. Imagine a world where we wouldn't think of all the things we wanted. Imagine a world where we would take a second to stop and think of all the reasons we're thankful for. Imagine a world where we would spend more time with our family members, friends, and loved ones. Imagine a grateful world. Imagine our world. California FFA, welcome to our world.
you now. Cause hopelessly the hopeless we have so much to feel good about. Oh, this has gotta be the good life. This has gotta be the good life. This could really be a good life, good life. I say, oh, this feeling that you can't fight. The city is on fire tonight. This could really be a good life, a good, good life. Oh, yeah. A good, good life. Good life. Listen, to my friends in New York, I say hello. My friends in LA, they don't know where we've been for the past few years or so. Paris to China to Colorado. Sometimes it's airplanes I can't jump out. Sometimes it's bullshit that don't work now. We have got our stories, but please tell me what there's to complain about. Today I took a walk in the clouds. Today I took a walk in the clouds. Used to keep my eyes wide shut, but now I'm staring down. Today I felt a switch in my vein. Today I felt a switch in my veins. Used to be a shadow, now the shadows scream my name. And in the daylight I could swear that we're the same. But I'm just an ordinary human, ordinary ways. I'm just an ordinary human, but I don't feel so ordinary today. I'm just your picture perfect nothing. Sometimes I'm medicated, but I'll be a picture perfect human before the sun goes down today. Today I felt a switch in my veins.
Louise, Louisa, Lulu, Louis, Louise. Hello, YouTube followers. Louise, thank you for filling our year with tons of laugh. Whether it was seeing your Super Sentinel poster for the first time or watching you put a car cover on your Mustang, we can always count on you to brighten our day. Not only do you bring an immense amount of joy to the family that made it nasty, but also you have the ability to create meaningful connections with anyone you cross paths with. When we could not find you this year, we knew that you would be interacting with a group of FFA members because of your genuine love and passion for this organization and everyone in it. You are one of the most determined people we know, and you consistently strive to better yourself and everyone around you. It is because of your determination that your Mustang was on fleek all year long, coupled with your focused mentality and kind heart. Your love for others has allowed the six of us to grow as a family and fill this year with laughter, love, and incredible memories. The members love you, and we love you. Thank you for an amazing year. Love Deepak, Sierra, Ellen, Haley, and Roman. California FFA, for the final time, your state FFA Sentinel, Mr. Luis Sanchez.
There'll be peace in the city tonight. Peace in the city tonight. But when I'm gone, I hope they get it right. Just an ordinary human. Ordinary ways.
California FFA, in this session, we heard inspiring words from Dr. Rick Rigsby and learned how we need to make an impact.
We also heard from the state choir for the first time and welcomed the new chapters to our association.
And lastly, we heard inspiring words from your state Sentinel as he delivered his retiring address. California FFA, join us as we reach out with ambition.
Help us in welcoming back to the stage your state FFA president, Mr. Deepak Kumar.
Madam Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I have none, Mr. President.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this session? We are about to adjourn the second session of the 87th Annual California FFA Leadership Conference. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, please join me in a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now declare this session adjourned.
Ice cold, Michelle, fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good.
All delegates, please remain in the arena. All delegates, please remain in the arena.
Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm